Sounds good.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Natalie Wisewoman podcast, where I discuss different topics related to becoming your highest potential. Enjoy this episode. Welcome to this episode of the Natalie Wisewoman podcast. This is the second part of my Peru trip. I'm sorry if my voice is very, very deep today, but I've had a little bit of a sore throat. But let it be a very deep, deep, deep voice today, guiding you on some of the insights from my Peru trip. So, wanted to split this into two parts because there was two main themes of that trip. And if you haven't listened to the first part, which is about the feminine and masculine, balancing of feminine and masculine energies, then I highly recommend that you click on the episode below, which is about exactly that, and also tells you a little bit of some interesting stories around my trip. So, one of the things that came up in ceremony was a very strong feeling of that I am always going to be taking care of myself, and I don't need to worry about anything because I'm always here for myself. And through all the hardship, all the difficult moments I've had in my life, I've always been there. Even though I've probably betrayed myself many times, I still understood that I am my own healer, I am my own helper, I am my own mother, I am my own father, I am everything is inside me. And that was something that came up, and I hadn't even been thinking about the yo soy or the I am principle deeper than that, deeper to just understanding that I am is something that is very deeply ingrained in a lot of religious practices, but I think it has been a bit lost, for example, in Christianity. The I am principle, which is basically what Jesus was. He was the manifestation of that. I am. He said, I am the sun. I am the, everything. He is. I am. And I had a really good integration in Cusco. So after my retreat, I flew out to Cusco, which was a beautiful city. Really, no place has felt so like home as that place. And I just remember when we were driving around on the countryside where there were like forests and mountains and stuff. I just remember looking out the bus window and I was like, this scenery and everything I'm seeing looks like something I've had in my dreams, like multiple times, where I've been in that place and walked around. It just felt really weird. I was like, is this from a dream or why is that so familiar? Why does everything look so familiar? I don't know. I've never even watched documentaries about Peru, so I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it was a very interesting place and I had a good integration. I had a good realization really of the I am principle, the yo soy principle. And there seems to be people around me that I attract that have this kind of same way of looking at the world. So I had been following Matthias Di Stefano for some time, and he talks about the yo soy principle. And it really resonated with me. And then I've started to notice that a lot of people around me that for example, also my roommate at the retreat, she had some insights about I am. And also I have people that I've been working with and that are my friends that are talking about this exact principle, not maybe in the same way, but how it is so important to understand that you are your own healer. You're your own shaman. You're your own guru. I'm not your guru. I'm not your healer. If I would be your therapist, that wouldn't even be me making you better. It's really about just having different tools so that you can help yourself, so that you can heal yourself. Because everything you need is already within you, but you just need to be able to access these things. And that's what therapy is for, that's what ayahuasca can be for, that's what, breath work or yoga or meditation or medication or anything can be for, is for you to be able to help yourself, to come into a state of mind, a place where you are able to actually help yourself. Because you might not be able to do that, or you might think that you're not able to do that when you feel stuck. So if you have some mental health issue or something's going on where you feel like I'm not able to help myself, then you can use different tools. You can go to the doctor, you can go to a therapist, you can do different practices at home to help yourself and get help from other people. But in the end, it's really you, only you, that can heal yourself. I was on this beautiful retreat ceremony where the facilitator was just saying, like, you are the shaman of your own life. And I think that's so beautiful. Like, we are really the ones to heal ourselves. And I think that's so important. And it's so important to not give the power away to someone else. And I really remember, I think it's an interesting course that I took when I moved back to Finland. It was about healthcare, and it was a Swedish course from a Swedish university. And we had to write an essay about empowerment in the healthcare system, and how we would like, or why it would be important to empower patients. And I was just like, wow, is this really something they talk about in university? Because what I'm seeing a lot is that people give their power away to someone in a white coat, some doctor, to some healer, to some medicine, and they are not taking charge of their own life. They're not taking responsibility. Yes, someone might have studied some healing practice for 20 years or gone to medical school for 10 years, but that does not mean that they know you better than you know yourself. They might be able to help you, diagnose you, say what's wrong with you, but in the end, it's you that have to take responsibility, and you that can take responsibility for your own healing, for your own life. And that's the Yosoi principle. I am, you are, and all that you are is already enough. You don't need to be anything else. If we go to the core of everything, if we delete all the material stuff and everything that's going on, you just really need to be, I am. And I don't know if I fully understood this principle. Like, I know there's a lot for me to still learn about this, but I think it's so beautiful to understand that really all that we need is our own help and our own trust, our own empowerment. We need to be empowered, not give our power away. And I see this in so many communities. I see this with so many people, where my doctor told me, or even like in the medical medium community, there's like, well, he says this and he says that, and I can do that. What are you resonating with? What are you feeling in your heart? What is true for you? Should you be a vegan? Should you eat meat? Should you be on keto? Should you eat fats, not eat fats, fruits, not? I don't know. Only you can know in the end. But if something doesn't make you feel good and doesn't feel right with you, then you're probably supposed to do something else, no matter what anyone says. So it's really about tapping into your own intuition, tapping into the own healer within yourself. And that is the way that you can heal. You don't need any of the other things. You just need your own trust. But it might be helpful to get outside help. But in the end, you are your own healer. You are, and that is enough. And I mean, I've been sent videos and I've heard talks about, the dangers of ayahuasca and the dangers of meditation and yoga and all these things. And it's like, yes, there are dangers with all of these things. There are dangers with going to the doctor. There are dangers with going to therapy if you are not taking responsibility. If you are, again, putting everything on something external to make you feel better. If you think that only ayahuasca can save me, only this doctor, only this therapy, even only Jesus Christ, only God, only something external that I'm worshiping can save me, then you're losing the whole point of that you are the one that is there for you, the one that can actually heal you. And you need to deepen your relationship with yourself and trust yourself. And there are so many people in this world who are giving out advice based on just their own experience, their own projections, and their own beliefs about the world. There is no one size fits all. We are all different, and that's why no one can know you better than you can know yourself. I actually had a gynecologist. He was an old man, but he was the best gynecologist I ever had. And he told me that once a month, on the same day of the month, I should go in the dark and just feel my breasts. Just do that for a minute. And once I did that long enough, I would have a very good feeling of what my breasts are supposed to feel like. And if they don't feel like they're supposed to, then I will know that something is wrong. And he told me, then when you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you that nothing's wrong, you will say that you know your body because you have been feeling into yourself, and you will demand that they will do tests on you because you know. And that was very empowering, and I really liked that. And I mean, that's exactly what we should do. We should tune into ourselves so in such a deep way that we can actually know when something is wrong and not put all of our trust on something external to save us. So I think this was a very beautiful principle to really understand. I was like, wow, this Yosoi principle is just beautiful, because I just see so many people also in the spiritual communities. They're just looking for the next thing, looking for the next modality or, something external to help them, to heal them, to make them feel better. When all they really need is themselves. They don't need to buy another course. They don't need to buy another session with someone. They can do that if they want to, because it can be helpful to have someone else help to guide you. But in the end, you should make all your decisions yourself. And in the end, it's only you that can help yourself. And I've had to realize this the hard way. I have a really close family member that has been very sick, mentally ill, since they were very young. And at some point, I just realized this Yosoi principle. I was like, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. I'm not going to try to manipulate this other person into the way I think that they should be living, or the way that they should be doing something, or trying to make them feel bad. In the end, actually, the only thing that is helpful to them is me being unconditional love to them. Acceptance, not judgment. A person that is feeling already has mental issues does not want to have someone come there and judge them. They want to have someone who can, for once, show unconditional love and understanding. Because that will grow their own confidence that they can do it, that they can actually start to feel better. So I had to realize that, this person is the only one that can help themselves. And it's same with, any, like if you look at someone with addiction, you can try to manipulate and force and threaten them with anything. Like, I will leave you, or if you don't do this, then, psychological control from, it comes from fear, but you love them. So it's like, but the only person in that scenario as well that can help themselves is they. When they decide, I've had enough, I'm not going to use the substance anymore. I'm going to get some help, but I'm going to stop. That's the only thing that can help them. Of course, like I said, we can support with unconditional love, and we can have different tools from outside, but in the end, it's about us, about I am. So with this episode, I really want you to understand that you are the healer of your own life. You know what's best for you. And it's really important that you learn to know yourself, that you can tap into your intuition, to your own inner wisdom, so that you can make decisions that are for your highest potential. Because that is the best way to live in alignment, when you know how to help yourself, when you need some rest, when you can be active, and when you need to isolate, and when you want to be social. Then you can live a life that's very aligned with your body, not trying to fight against your body, but being very in sync with everything that you are. And always remembering that you are enough, because you are, I am, and there is nothing else that you need to be, that I need to be. I am, and I don't need to be anything else than what I am. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
Sounds good.